All right, so I wanted to take a quick couple minutes here and show how it is that I search for property mailing addresses with some information such as the homeowner's name, maybe their business name, and how I use that information along with a property address to search for more information. There's going to be a couple websites that we use for these searches. We're going to use the Manatee County Property Appraiser website. We will be using the Sarasota County Property Appraiser website, and we will be using the website sunbiz.org, which allows me to search for actual businesses. All three of these websites will be used for most data that I have researched. For my first example, I'm going to use some records that I have over here, and as I said before, sometimes you're going to be given the person's name or the address to search, and I will show you how you can search for both of those. Once you're on the Sarasota County Property Appraiser site, you will go under Real Property Search. You will come over here and we can either enter an address or an owner name. As I said before, oftentimes we'll be using an address to search, so a situs address, which would be the actual physical piece of property, not the mailing address, which is what this address line 1 is. But for situs address, if we wanted to use, for instance, this example right up here, the line 404-2564 Parrott Street, Northport, we're going to come over here and we will enter that same address, 2564 Parrott. As you start to enter that, you will see that it will pre-populate or autofill if it can find that. So we can click on that and then we can click search. Here are the results. The owner, we have their mailing address, and we have the actual situs address, which is the property. What is important to me is that we record all of this information, especially the mailing address. The mailing address will sometimes be the same, sometimes be different. For this example, we will input the ownership name and the mailing address onto company name and address line 1 with the city, state, and the zip code. And this is a mistake. A zip code should be in a 5-digit format. The fact is that this one has a 0 in the front, a leading 0, so this page is not recording it properly, so I will have to fix that. If it is a business name, I need this researched even further. I want to know the actual owners of the LLC, and that is where we will use sunbiz.org, which is a website that lets us search company names and see who the owners are. So, from this website, Florida Department of State, the dos.myflorida.com, we would click on Sunbiz. Or you could use this hyperlink right here. Once you're here, we'll click on Search Records. We will go down and search by the name, and we're going to use this Verona D&EC LLC. So I will type in, and for when you type these in, do not use punctuation marks like commas. Just use the actual name. You don't even have to type it all out. I will just do Verona D, hit enter, and you'll see the results. And this is what we're looking for. So we're going to click on there, and if we scroll down, the authorized person's detail is what will list the owners of this LLC. What I would like to do is record their names and use this address as the mailing address shown here. So what I would do is I would come back over and I would add Ermelinda, Colo. And we already have that address. And that is how we search for LLCs. So what I will do next is I'm going to come back over to the Sarasota County Property Appraiser site. I'm going to come back over to Quick Search, and if we want to use line 416 as an example here, Chad Waits, we can search by owner. Owner will always go last name and then first name. So we will type Waits, and you can see it already starts to pre-populate and show some results here. Chad happens to be right there, so we can click Chad, then click search. And we get a list of properties that Chad has. Here is 1832 Bayonne, which is the Citus property. We can click on this and it will bring up the results page again. On this example, his mailing address is the same as the Citus address. We will record both of those. Now, let me show you how to search for Manatee property appraiser records. And what we will use is this very first line item, 461. So I'm going to come over to the Manatee County Property Appraiser website. And I'm going to click on Home, just so you can see the main page, manateepao.com. If you are at this page, you'll click Property Search. You will agree to the terms, and now you can search by owner or address. If we have the owner's name, and you can see right below it says last name, first name, we're going to be using Richard Larson from line 461 over here. So if I type in Larson, Richard, and hit enter, there were no results that showed. So what I will try next is I will go to the address. For address on a Citus, you only need to enter two fields, the 4023 and the 60th. So what I'll put in here is 4023. I will type in just the number because this site does not like when you add extra fields. If I click search, it will find it, but sometimes it will not. So just try and do the numbers, 4023 and 60. We'll click search and we have our two results. We know we're looking for the Court West, so we'll click on that. And here is the property information page. It's a little bit different, and on this page we will scroll to the bottom and the owner information shows right there along with their mailing address. These would be their first names and this would be the last name. We would input that information right over here. This does not match up, and the reason is most likely the property was sold, and this one was. So I'm showing you as a result from 2017. This property actually sold in 2018. So if we come back up here to profile, I'm just showing you how you would have pulled that information. So it won't match this right now. But had we had the correct name, you would have seen the results. So let me go back and show you a different example. Let's try this next one and see if it's still the same owner. We have Glenn Gibellina. So I will go up to owner. I will type in Gibellina, Glenn. I'll hit enter. And here we go. We have an address. We have the owner. It's actually the same address there. I will click on this, and they have the same mailing address as Citus address. So that is quickly how we search for names and properties using only a name and a property address. Usually you will have one or the other, and we just need all of the information, the mailing address, Citus address, and names recorded. If the name happens to be an LLC, that again is when we come over to our Sunbiz website and we put in the entity name. For instance, Palmetto R&V LLC. And here we go. Here's the company. Here are the owners, Ray Oxendine and Virginia Oxendine. I have already filled this in over here. And their mailing address is the P.O. Box 1470. Thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any further questions.